I spent years mistaking self awareness for self change. And knowing that you should not do the behavior and knowing how to analyze and dissect it and clinically label it is not the same as just literally not doing it anymore. And obviously, we're in a society now where we're so overstimulated all the time. Like, even if we try not to be not necessarily like manipulated, but just programmed, right? Like if you don't want to be intaking information, there's no way for us to not do that anymore unless we're literally just laid out on the grass in the middle of the forest with no one and nothing. But even then, obviously, we're still affected. With that being said, it's very easy to get emotionally connected to feeling like you're solving the problem and even physically connected because obviously we do a lot of these self help rituals, like journaling, for example. And you can journal all you want. And I say journaling because I feel like journaling is such an aesthetic behavior that if it's not structured properly, it just allows us to run circles in our head instead of just actually being truthful about the things that we need to solve. Because it's almost like a dopamine hit to revisit that behavior and that trauma and just continue to tell yourself, okay, I know that it exists, I see that it exists, but just because you can name it doesn't mean again that you're not doing it anymore. And I saw myself so often just being like, journaling and I would sit there and I'm like, okay, I am journaling about the same thing for the third time. It's almost like self gossip. You know, when you have that one friend and it's like every single time you hang out with that friend, you know that the topic of conversation is going to be about something not working or a relationship going sideways, or that's almost how we approach our healing journey. We approach these healing behaviors that are supposed to help us feel better and actually help us do the work on the inside, but we don't ever actually do that because we just keep being like, this behavior, like I see it and I know I need to change it, but I'm not going to change it, and it feels good, and I keep getting the dopamine hit, and I feel busy thinking about it and doing physical actions, but I'm not actually feeling through it. You can have literally all the insight in the world. You can speak to all of the medical professionals. You can pay for all of the best opinions. At the end of the day, your life and your journey is yours. And I think that it's amazing that we reach out and try to collect. We do almost try to collect, but just seek out educated and experienced information and opinions. But we have to make sure that we're not spending so much time almost outsourcing all of this work that needs to be in source because it is an inside job. And we know this. We know this. And it's tough for me being a hyper independent individual that has really been working on slowing down and just being bored. And I'm so blessed to be in a position now where I have the financial means to slow down, to take a deep breath, to know that if a bill shows up in my mailbox, I'm gonna be able to pay it. If a bill shows up in my mom's mailbox, paid. People in my life, taken care of. I'm not stressed. I can be anywhere I want. I can have anything I want. I can eat whatever I want. And this is not to flex because there was a time in my life where I couldn't eat anything I want. I couldn't even use the toilet when I wanted to. I was peeing in the back of my car in a to-go container that I got for my job. And I showed the same amount of gratitude. This is so key. The same amount of gratitude I had when I was in that space, which is why I've been able to get to the point where I have now, to bring it full circle, to be blessed to be in the position that I am now, where I can slow down and I can give myself space to actually evolve, because it's already very scary for me to dissect all of the things that are going on the inside. Because I am hyper independent, because it is a safe place for me. So for me to be able to submit to myself and take myself off of this hyper independent, hyper anxiety, hyper I can do everything all the time, and just sit in a place where I'm genuinely so bored, and to give myself permission to be bored. So many people couldn't fathom to live the life that I live. And I'm not saying I want to be ungrateful in my boredom. I am extremely grateful in my boredom. And I think that's my whole point. When we live in a world where attention and again, not manipulation, but just you are a target. Your attention is a target, and where you choose to put it is so important and is really what's gonna dictate where the rest of your life goes. And obviously, all of these things are made with the choices that we make, but the work that needs to be done is completely and utterly an inside job. The work that needs to be done, you can do it but naked in the middle of a forest. And I was very blessed to go to rehab when I was 15 at a very primitive, it wasn't a facility, it was primitive. It's outside. We were peeing, pooping outside. We were hiking every single day. And it's looking back on it now, I know a lot of the girls that were there when you first arrived, you can see just how unrelaxed their nervous system is, how much anxiety they have. And it was not surprising to me that a lot of these girls turned to drugs and stimulants and validation from people. And because at such a young age, they had such a deep wound that they were trying to heal. And nobody knew how to actually help them tap into that feeling that was going on inside them. For me, I just try and cover that feeling in many different ways. I ate and ate and ate and ate. And I'd have this conversation with my mom all the time. I'm like, Mom, I love food. Like, I love the taste of food. And I thought it is the taste of food. And she would always be like, you're crazy. Like, you just have no self control, which is true. But it wasn't the taste of food that I was after. It was the taste of that feeling inside of me that I got to taste that relief inside of my soul for the 0.2 seconds that I was swallowing food. But then you realize that that feeling inside me is actually still there, girl. It's still there because you didn't actually solve a problem. You just tried to shove a bunch of stuff down your throat and it kept it for not even a minute. Like, try again next time. So I did try again next time. And then I started taking drugs, and then that obviously got to a point where it's like, okay, now you're just numb. But guess what? The feeling's still there. Okay, let me go and see if I can start looking for validation in other people. Oh, now other people are validating me, and I've actually done the work. They're validating me for good stuff. I'm walking on stages, I'm speaking in front of hundreds, thousands of people. I've made such and such money, I've helped with such and such families, such and such people. And for some reason, why do I still feel that burn in my soul? Because it doesn't matter if you stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning every single day. It doesn't matter if you're the first one into the office and the last one to leave in the morning. It doesn't matter if you try and eat all the healthy food and you put yourself in timeout and you don't eat any of the chocolate. And even if you lose the weight and you're in a calorie deficit, the weight might be gone, but the burden that you were carrying and all that baggage, it's still there. And you're going to gain that weight right back again because you didn't actually feel the reason that you were doing it in the first place. So all of this just, I feel like, to be fair, in all of the videos that I've done since the beginning, which is about a couple weeks now, really the determining factor or like the common denominator of all of it is just to slow down, which I guess I can just speak through my experience and I will continue to speak through the things that I've been through and where I'm at. But it's just to slow down and it's so hard to be bored. I just float around in the pool. I'll have to show you guys. I have a video and I'm just floating around in the pool and I'm like, what did I say? Clock in or walking. And I'm just yelling, clock in or walking. Well, it's actually walking or walking. Let me make sure I'm not promoting the 9 to 5. But, anyways, not 9 to 5s are good. They get us where we need to be. It's a simple system that we can follow the rules. So then we leave the system, you know? And we go system hopping from there. But, anyways, self awareness. Make sure that you are actually trying to change and not just become aware of the things that we need to change. We will go so much further, so much faster. So that is all for today. Leave a comment, thoughts, feelings, topics. Yeah. See you tomorrow.